Balloon Pop, a simple filler game by TMG, a push-or-luck game which comes with some really nice custom dice and a fun theme, which is you're sending your balloons as high as possible in the sky, but not until the point at which they break. Well, they do break, but you're trying to have them high up there without breaking. Bring them up there and let other people break their balloons. Very short sheet for the instructions. So the game can also could be played solo. You're going for points, and at the end of the game you'll compare the number of points that you have with here the ranks to see how well you did. Game comes with a pad of sheets that you need to play the game. Now there aren't too many. I used a couple, but they're single-sided, and that's a little disappointing. I see running out of these sheets not in a long time, not far from now, if I keep playing the game. Here you also have a little pencil. With a cardboard insert with nothing underneath, simply to protect the pencil, and the custom dice. Now, unless you're playing solo, you're gonna need to add some pencils anyway. So there's something here about what they decided to put in the box, which seems not ideal to me. They could have placed a bunch of these pencils here, justifying all of the space that is taken in the box, so that you're carrying the game around when you go camping or traveling with kids. Then everybody has 4, 5, 6 little pencils. Everybody has one. Or just forget about a pencil entirely, assuming that people have one anyways, and then stock up the box with a lot more of these sheets here, which are essential to play the game, or at least, have them double-sided. That would have maybe increased the cost, but, if they use less ink here, I think the game would have been just still as nice. Even black and white with just some color here for the balloons. If that's really the only thing that you need to play the game, that would have, I think, balanced cost and probably allowed them to print on both sides so that the game can be more playable. And it's not one of those games like, well, I'm easily gonna make my own sheet, because as you can see, you have columns with specific numbers and you really need to print them out as they are. It's not like you can easily just draw one. So that's it. A lot of room taken in the box to have this little pencil, which is not going to be enough for you anyways if you're playing with multiple players. Now, as for gameplay itself, each player does get a sheet such as this one, and then players will take turn rolling dice. When it is your turn, you always start by rolling 3 dice only. And once you're done, you can choose to reroll any and all of them, but if you do so, you need to add one of the remaining dice from that pool. Suppose I want to do this and decide I still want to reroll more, then I have to add that other die there. So if you're rerolling twice, you will end up with 5 dice at the end. After you're done rolling and possibly rerolling, you mark boxes on your score sheet, starting from the bottom and going up, and circling or marking a number of boxes for each color and symbol equal to the number of color of icons of that color and with that symbol that you have. Here, for example, I have one yellow die, so I'm gonna mark that one. Then I have 4 red symbols. Yeah, the symbols are not equally represented. There are a lot of reds, some blue, and only 1 yellow per die, and the same applies to the symbol. A lot of stars, not so many half moons, and even fewer diamonds. Then what do we have? Look at the colors, so then we look at the symbols, and I have 3 stars, 1, 2, and 3, 1 half moon, and 1 diamond, and that's it. Then the next player goes, and again rolls 3 dice, 4 with a reroll, 5 with 2 rerolls, and you continue like this. After a while, players will have the columns of marked boxes going higher and higher, and higher, until necessarily at some point somebody will mark the top box in one of their columns. And as you can see, the top box is red. When that happens, everybody scores, not just the player that marked that box and breaking that box, and marking that box called breaking the game. When you break, everybody scores, and when you score, you scored the highest number in all of your columns. So this column would be worth 3 at this present time. If I'm scoring now, 3, 5, 8, 3, 2, and 7. So you're trying to go as high as possible, but as you may have noticed, the last box in each column, the numbers go up, but the last one is a big step down. So if somebody had broken while my highest one was this one, then I would score 13 points here. But since I'm the one that breaks, instead of scoring 13, I'm scoring 7. And see here, you can go from 14 or 16 to 4 and 6, so definitely not good. So I broke, everybody scores what they have, you write the total here, and then the game continues. When there is another break, you score again. When there is yet another break, you score again in the same fashion. And after the third break, the game is over. You total all of the points that you scored during the breaks, and at that point, the player with the highest total is the winner of the game. Super mega simple. There is that simple idea. I roll and re-roll, and I'm trying to diversify and to have good points in as many categories as possible, hoping that the people will break and I'll get to score without having to lose the points that you do lose if you mark the last box in a column. Fun, simple idea. I like the fact that when you're re-rolling, say, oh, I really don't want to get more reds because I'm gonna break otherwise, and I don't wanna break in that category. But then if I want to re-roll these guys, I also had to add another one, so it may totally happen that I'll get more reds. And there was a time, yes, when I didn't want like a single red, so I re-rolled and I got 4 reds. There are those moments where there will be laughter and cheer around the table because crazy stuff happens, because the dice are both naughty enough to give you what you don't want, and actually nice enough because in truth it's a fun moment. So I'm gonna lose some points, but I'm gonna laugh, and that is part of the game, and that's a part of the game that I enjoy very much. And it's as simple as that. Roll, re-roll, push your luck, try not to break, try to be having your balloons float very high up there while other people break, and so you score more points. As I said, you can play it solo. You're simply trying to gain as many points as possible by the third break. Balloon pop, this is all that there is. Now, as I said, the production, the selection of what to print, what to put in the box, and how much ink to spend on one side of the score sheet and none at all on the other, those are elements that bug me a little bit. Could have been done a little bit better, I think, more efficient. The game as is looks very good. The production values are really great, but again, you do not have as many score sheets as I think would be desirable. As for gameplay itself, on one hand, is one of those games that, well, there isn't all that much that you can do during other players' turns, with the exception, of course, of scoring. So I'm still gonna be interested at some point to know where you are and to know if during your turn you're gonna break or not. On the other hand, it's not like I really need to pay attention to what you're doing because that affects my decisions. I may be taking a nap and you shake me and you tell me that it's time for me to score, and I'll do it. And that will still be exactly the same. I will not have missed a big opportunity. As if you want to take naps between rounds, I guess that's fine. I don't know how long it takes you to fall asleep though. So it can be a social element that as other players are taking their turns, you chat and you hang out like that. It's definitely not demanding, oh my gosh, if I don't pay attention to what people are playing, I'm lost. What people are doing, I'm lost. The idea is more like, I can, and I have some reasons to be interested and to laugh at the crazy rolls that you have. So there is a reason for me to be entertained by that, and not necessarily a strategic necessity. Gameplay itself, again, is simple and fun. It is to be taken light. It is to be, you see this as a casual game, almost as a party game, almost as a social game. As for the age, I tried to play with children, with my daughter Amelia, who is 6, and with a classmate of hers that is of the same age. And the game, well, they went through it. They liked the idea. They liked the general concept, but they get very much the idea I should go as high as possible, but not break, because it's very visual. But then when you have to interrupt and do the math, if you have a couple of adults, each adult does their own. If you're playing with kids, you the adult are probably gonna have to do that. Again, depends on the age. If somebody's 8 or 9, they can probably do it without too much trouble. And maybe you even turn it into sort of like crypto homework. They don't realize that they're doing stuff that is good for them. But if you're playing with kids that are 5 or 6 or 7, they definitely can understand the overall mechanics and the overall strategy. Nevertheless, then it's not fun for them to have to add those numbers, which are very hard, or simply sit there as you do it. All of a sudden, the game that felt so intuitive becomes dry and abstract for them, and they lose interest. So I said this is a game for older kids or to play with adults as a filler, as a warm-up. As a filler is like the ultimate filler because it takes like 5 minutes to play, 10 minutes to play between other games as you're waiting for the last player to join the event and before you play the big game of the game night. Balloon Pop, simple, very pleasant, very nice. Not particularly deep, not particularly sophisticated, but clearly it is a game that never tried to go that way. But the way that it has decided to go, which is a simple light filler, well, that is a way in which the game definitely succeeds. Fun, simple filler. I'll play it with adults, not with kids, and not with my daughters for a while at least, but definitely a very enjoyable light filler.